The things I wish you knew. I wish you knew that the first time I ever felt uncomfortable was when my own cousin dropped down his pants and stood naked when we were alone. I was 11 years old. I complained to his mother and was asked to not tell anybody else in the family, and so I didn't. When I had slapped Gaurav because of the things he said to me, you had asked me to mend my ways, to not speak up, and to let go. And so I didn't tell you about the time when I was followed by boys on my way home from school, and years later when I was harassed on the metro station by an elderly man who had tried to kiss me. I had cried my way home, but I wouldn't dare tell you because I knew you would ask me to stop taking the same route. I knew you would ask me to not go out at all. I remember the time when Suhali wanted to go on a vacation with her friends. I remember all of the yelling and the fighting that went on for weeks. She wanted to let you know so that you could be there for her if something were to happen. But all I could see back then was her sitting alone in her room crying for hours on end. And so when my turn came, I decided to lie. I told you it was a departmental trip, and in doing so, I let go of any sense of security that I might have otherwise had. I was scared, anxious, and constantly overthinking about things that could go wrong. But I didn't have the emotional bandwidth to try and convince you for weeks. And so I decided to weigh my independence against my sense of security. I also remember the time when my teacher called me characterless because I sat in the back seat with boys. You told me that my teacher was right and that I shouldn't have been sitting with boys and shouldn't have befriended them at all. So, years later, when a man decided to force himself on me at a party, I didn't tell you. I also didn't tell you about the time when I was shown a pistol by another man. I kept thinking that it was my fault that I befriended them and that I had somehow encouraged them. Over the years, I learned to compartmentalize my life. I stopped narrating incidents where I felt unsafe. I stopped calling friends over. I hid away my romantic relationships. And in doing so, I hid away parts of me I so wholeheartedly wish you knew about. I have seen how you act around my male cousins. I have seen you ask them about their relationships. I have seen you encourage them to go on vacations, to party, and to enjoy themselves. And all this time, I found myself questioning whether things would have been different if I were a man. But I quickly distract myself because I know the answer is a yes, and I'm not quite ready to face it.